Happy Friday, everyone. So, look, nobody talks about what happens when you start setting boundaries. They make it sound empowering, but sometimes it gets lonely, it's awkward, and it's a little uncomfortable, right? So, they start to move funny when you start setting boundaries, and the phone gets quiet, and suddenly you realize who has only been around you when you were overgiven. So today, Tamika and I are talking about burnout and boundaries and what life actually looks like when you stop pouring from empty cup. All right, so let's get into it.
Happy Friday. The world is loud, but my voice is louder. Hey, yeah. Tapping unleash. Conversation starts now.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
welcome
pick up
back to Unleashed Conversations, and I am here with Tamika. Hey, Tamika.
Hey, Ariel.
So this podcast is where we talk about real life. We talk about real life issues and stuff that people think, but they don't always say. And like I said, today I'm joined here with Tamika, and we're going to get into something that everybody in 2026 is dealing with. But before we get into the burnout and the boundary setting, we're going to talk about a trending topic that's going on right now. In America, in the world in general. So I don't know if you guys have been following this or not, but there's a pastor, Pastor Jamal Bryant, where he bought his wife this beautiful outfit, and this form fitting is, I guess, couture to her body. And people had something to say about it because they felt that because she's a first lady, she should be dressed a certain way. And there's been a lot of controversy going on in the church and beyond about whether or not this was respectable or not for a first lady to be dressed like this. So this is what we're going to talk about today as a trending topic. So what do you think, Tamika, about the situation? Like, as a first lady, is it supposed to be a particular way that you're supposed to be like dressed? Like, how do you feel about that whole situation?
Drum roll, drum roll. So there's two parts to it, right? So for me, that's the problem. A lot of people lose people in church. So I'm gonna put myself in place where my grandmother was an evangelist. So I've been in church all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother said to me when I was younger, I saw her with a glass of wine, and I got upset. I think it's what you're taught that if you're a first lady, you're a preacher, you are so much higher, and they put so much pressure on people that they can't live.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who do you respect more? Someone you know has the same trials and tribulations and got past it, or someone that's so perfect that you are hurting yourself to get there? Her dress didn't do anything change who she is as a person. She wasn't
Exactly.
in the church with it on. She was at a
Mm-hmm.
function. And if you don't like it, don't look at it. And the problem is
Mm-hmm.
because she looked good. Now, if she wasn't snatched or something else, and everybody was talking about, oh, she's too big for that, she shouldn't put that. But because it fit her nicely, she looked good. You just needed
She
something to
did.
talk about. Oh, now she's the first lady and she shouldn't
She
wear
did.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna tell some of y'all ladies that be wearing stretch pants with no butt, you shouldn't wear it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that.
And I think you're
Like
right
everyone
because
has
no, go ahead. What was you about to say? Everybody has their what?
their preference, but you can't put on your feelings what you want somebody else to do with their own self.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that has a lot to do too with like how you said earlier, we put these especially in the church, if you're a minister, if you're a pastor, if you're a first lady, we hold them to high regards like they're perfect, like how you said earlier. And it really honestly to me it has nothing to do with perfection. Like, okay, none of us are perfect anyway. And I think that's where we lose a lot of people because, like how you say you grew up in the church, I grew up in the church as well. And I will admit, like when I was younger, if you were in the church, if I just saw you, me being a kid, I put everybody up on a high pedestal. You're in church, I feel like you're doing the right thing. But I think it goes beyond that because nobody is perfect at church. Everybody has their flaws. Nobody is perfect at church. But an outfit, especially when it's not like in the church, I just think, things are just over sexualized. And a lot of these people are thinking, oh, you don't want another man to be looking at your wife like that, especially when you're a first lady. And it's just like, it doesn't matter what you have on. She could be fully clothed. If a man is attracted to you or think that you're sexy, he's gonna think that you're sexy regardless of what you have on. That's just my personal opinion. It's not like she was showing everything. It was just contoured to her body. And I personally think it went too far as the judgment goes with her. um I could go so many different places with that because
Me and you both. Me and you both, girl. Me and you both.
because I hate it when church folks, how they are so judgmental, and it's like, I forgot how the verse goes, but something, throw the first stone. What's the saying?
All glass houses. No, if you have no,
Girl, I don't know, but it's like,
oh my
it's like
gosh, I'm getting so flat.
but it's pretty much like, if you perfect, throw the first stone, and it's like,
Yeah.
nobody is perfect. And but as I said before, it has nothing to do with perfection. It has to do with, um, because you feel like she's high up because she's a first lady. She's supposed to be like turtleneck, like the whole.
She could have on a turtleneck. She could have had on a turtleneck dress. I promise you, I have some that are really fitted. They still would have had a problem with it because she looked good and they didn't. You know how it is? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, she thinks she's cute because she can wear that. I've been there. I've been a plus size girl all my life, and it's always, you can't wear that because you're thick. You can't wear that because you have a big butt. You can't wear that because your thighs. You got to wear longer shorts. Why? What I do with my body has nothing to do with you. So
Yeah.
that's why that took me to like, oh, y'all need to stop. And it's not even just church people, people in general. I just saw so many people online talking about it. I'm like, why? Why does it bother you what she wears? Why?
Hmm.
Look at yourself that it bothers you because you don't have the audacity or the to put it on. And you know, if you
Hmm.
put it on, you wasn't gonna look that good. So leave her alone. She's with
Right.
her husband. She's not out with the girls. She's walking with her husband. And half the people
Hmm.
talking is not a husband or a wife. That's saying this.
And I like the way that he defended his wife, because he was pretty much like, I bought her that dress. And he was pretty much like, you don't have to like her, but you're gonna respect her as being the first lady. Because I don't know what else happened behind the scenes, but and then I told you about, it was another pastor that during his service, he talked about the situation, and he made the comment. He was like, the pastor had his wife up there dressed like a $2 whore. And everybody was like, woo. And he was like, I'm not calling her a whore. I'm just saying the way that the pastor had her dressed, since he bought her the dress, he had her dressed like a $2 whore. And I was like, wow.
So as a
Wow.
pastor, his job is not to judge. He may feel any kind of way, but if God didn't say it, you're not supposed to preach it. You know, as a woman that used to do Women's Day in the pulpit and had to preach a couple of times, listen, you're not supposed to. Okay, so oh, so things like
Yeah.
that. Like I said, people put judgment and problems that do not need to be. Is she hurting anyone? Is she doing anything wrong? As
Right.
a woman of the church, no. She's giving still. She's still doing what she's supposed to do. And is it written anywhere from Bible to Bo that she's not supposed to wear a fitted dress? No. It doesn't even talk about her clothing. It talks about how you're giving, how you're living, and what you're doing. And it says, man, come as they are. So that's where a lot of people say, oh, you're not supposed to wear jeans to church. You're not supposed to wear this. Ain't nowhere in that Bible said don't wear that stuff. So when
Right.
people get out their own way,
Right.
live a little
And,
better.
and that's the thing. It's so many different interpretations. It's so many different interpretations on, how you're supposed to come to church, where, it's like, come as you are. And then you have, certain churches where they do let you come in comfortable. Then you have the churches where it's very conservative. It's all about, like how you said, pretty much what you were taught and what your environment is. And that's where the judgments come in at, when you have so many different views or opinions or people coming together because they have their own views or whatnot. But I mean, all in all, I give it to the pastor's wife. You look great, ma'am. You look
You
fabulous.
know me. I love a fitted dress.
Yes. No
And she
judgment
was
here
snatched
at
to the
all.
gods. She was snatched to the gods. Yes, ma'am. You know I love it.
And I really just hate when women are over sexualized about things and they always put it back on us as far as like, it's our fault. And it like all in all, like I said, it doesn't matter what you wear. If somebody's attracted to you, they're gonna be attracted to you. And you just happen to find something to finally say because something was form fit. Like you've been thinking that way the whole time. And for you to say that, you've been thinking about it the whole time, regardless of what she had on. Because she's a great looking woman. So
That's what I said. Like me, I can have on a baggy sweatsuit. It can be 3 sizes too big. Guess where it's still going to fit? In those same plus size areas. So it doesn't
the curves
matter.
ain't going nowhere. The
Right?
curves are going nowhere.
You can
Is
put it in
that
the bag. I'm still going to, them same things are going to show, my man. It's going to show. So I just think, and even as a kid, like I said, I hate that they do put it on girls, they put on women. Oh, especially ones unfortunately get raped or something happened to. What did you have on? Does not matter. Teach these men, these boys, that no matter what they wear, you do not go on your impulses. If that's what
Mhm.
it's about, because why should I need to be different to stop somebody else? I'm only in charge of me.
Right,
I'm not in charge of nobody else.
right,
And many times I remember I'm going out in like a sweatsuit and something else, and someone walk up to me, I'm like, I look busted. Why are you trying to talk to me?
right,
So
right.
hair not done. I got a scarf. Why are you talking to me? Like I look a
they,
whole
they
mess.
still
So
trying to holler.
it's not that. I think they should leave her alone. Again, she was with her husband. It wasn't now. If she was out with her girlfriends and something else, or she at a strip club, then I can see you saying something. She's at a function. She looked beautiful, and she's with her
And she's
husband. If
with
her
her
husband
husband.
okay with it, who are you?
At the end of the day, she's still a woman. She's still a wife. She's still a human being. She, like you said, she's not
And
doing
she
nothing
still need to look
wrong.
good
So,
for him. And she still need to look good for him
exactly.
because again, your marriage connection and keeping that going instead of just being a relationship, just to say you're in a relationship, is different. And a
Right.
lot of marriages, people are just together because they've been together so long. It's no attraction
Mhm.
to their mate. You know, they just going through the
Right.
motions. He's excited. She's
Right.
excited. Listen, dress up for your husband.
So
Nothing wrong
what
with
did
that.
they say? What did they say? You can still look good for your husband, but covered up more. What would you say to that?
You can still look good for your husband.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. If that's what he likes, that's what he likes. There's all there is to it. It's about him, and he bought it. At the end of the day, he bought it.
She know how she got it. You know they say you got to do what you did to get them to keep them, right? So I let her be. She'll find something else. And you know what? I would be funny. I would put on to come to church one day in a bag, looking crazy, just in case for you to say, because now you're gonna talk about me. Oh, how she looking a mess like that? And she the first lady. You didn't like my dress before. Here's my other dress. What you want? But that's just me. That's the petty. That's the petty in me. I'm sorry. That's not godly like. But I would come in a bag. Like now what? You're gonna talk about now I look a mess. Oh, she's not dressed. She doesn't have this so much. Are you paying my buying my clothes, ma'am? Sir?
Yeah.
Are you
I
getting
said,
to
in the day,
that top? No.
stop controlling our bodies, and worry about your faith. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be worried about you and your faith and where you are. Stop worrying about what other folks are doing. Plain and simple. You're supposed to be worry about yourself.
Well said. Well said. And that's what it is. If people stop worrying about other people and only worry about themselves, they'll be fine. Are you, because you not wearing it, like I said, did it stop her from being a first lady? No. Did it stop her from giving to the unprivileged or helping the youth? None of that. Her clothes did not stop her from being who she's supposed to be.
Right. Yep.
As they
So
say,
that's it.
Betty, the people need to go look in the mirror. Go look in the mirror at yourself and see why you want to make this a problem.
So that's our trending topic for this episode. So pretty much the bottom line is just worry about your stuff. Stop judging. Being a first lady or being high up, in my opinion, is not a uniform. Being a first lady is a role, and it's what she does in her role. It's not about what she has on. So she's not hurting nobody. She's doing her thing. Stop judging her. Worry about your faith and where you going. That's my word for that topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. As they say in the church, amen.
Amen to that.
Just saying, I get trouble.
So we're going to go into our main topic for today, which is about boundaries and um, living, I guess, a peaceful life. Like, setting boundaries and how it affects people. Not even how to go into setting boundaries. Like, we could talk about that a little bit, but most people don't like to talk about what happens after you set those boundaries. Nobody talks about that part of it. And so today we want to just discuss it a little bit. And a lot of people, well, first of all, why would you set a boundary? Why do you think boundaries should be set in your life?
Um, it's hard to set boundaries because especially if you're a business owner or a mom and relationship or a wife or a husband, it's hard to set those boundaries because you feel like people to make you feel like you're selfish. So, but you have to sometimes take time for yourself. And I always tell people, as you gotta give yourself grace as you would give somebody else. You need to
Mhm.
say, okay, I want to do this for me, or have something for yourself, and it's only for you. It's okay. And again, that's where people come in place of making us feel wrong about stuff. So it's good to have boundaries. It's good to be able to say
Mhm.
no and realize it's okay to say no and not
Mhm.
be bothered by, oh, I said no because such and such. No, 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 it's no. I can't do it this time. And you got to think about how does it affect you if you keep doing it. As you said, we're
Right.
talking about the burnout. Yeah, you can't keep going and going. Like even a tire, after a while, you got to put some air in it. If you keep going and keep
Mhm.
going on, it's going to go flat. So you have to put something back into yourself sometimes.
Right, right. And I guess, with a lot of us, especially like I don't know if the right word to use is if we're one of the strong ones, right? And so if you're one of the strong ones, you're more dependent on when it comes to a lot of things. And it does get to that point where it's like, look, I my cup is running empty. Like, I got to start thinking about me because you're always putting everybody else first and not yourself. And you're always going over and beyond the call of duty to make sure that others are happy and satisfied when you sit here stressed to make sure that that's being done. And it's one of those things where it's like, after a while, you do get burned out, and people, as long as you keep giving, people are going to take. You have to have that balance. You have to find those people where it's reciprocated back and forth. If you have that person that is always taking, taking, taking because you're always giving, 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 that will get old after a while. Like that's where
Or
the
you'll
boundaries
quit.
have to start being. Yeah, that's where you really have to start setting those boundaries because that's where the burnout comes in at. And like I said, you have those people that they know how to reciprocate, but you have those ones where they're just so used to you always giving, then it becomes an expectation of you. And that's where the problem comes in at when now they feel like that's your expectation. Like, this is what our roles are. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I think sometimes it's, as they say, opposites attract. I always say I wish we can all have like shirts on or something that says giver and takers. So the givers can be with the givers and the takers can be with the takers. So but sometimes I think it's the giver have to realize that they're the giver. Because sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing it because it's just natural
Mm-hmm.
to us to be there and show up and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have to realize like the people around you, like I do it, like I step back and see if someone's gonna call me, if somebody's gonna reach out, see where it's at. If it's true love, friendship, whatever like that, working relationships, whatever. I step back and see if you're gonna call me, and then start to realize when you're calling me. And if you're just calling me
Mm-hmm.
just when you need something and I just say hello and check on me, then I stopped doing as much as I do. And I've done that with a few people, and a lot of people I stopped talking to because of that. And they like, oh, I ain't hear from you. No, you didn't. I want to
Yeah.
see if you're going to reach out to me and what you're reaching out to. And I lost a few friends like that where I just stopped giving because you can't
Hmm.
call me every time you need money. You can't call me every time you need a ride. Like maybe my car is broken. You don't know. They're not going to see on Facebook and Instagram that something's going on. Like, did you literally check on me to make sure I'm
Hmm.
okay? You know?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
like I said, sometimes it's hard as givers not to do it. And that's where the boundaries come in because we have to stop ourselves from being the giving person all the time. You know? Who's going to
Right.
show up for us? And sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more.
Very much so. Very much so. And I know for me, over the years, and I think it took me to I reached 40. I don't know what it was about 40, but like my whole mindset, it was just wild. It changed. But I know, for years, like how you were saying, you were always calling a person and you say, I'm gonna stop calling just to see, if they call me. And when I realized that it wasn't being reciprocated, I was like, dang, like I actually know now where we really stand, or where you actually stand with me. Because it wasn't for me like reaching out to you, I wouldn't hear from you at all. And when I realized that, I just started deleting people's number out my phone. Like I mean, because it's pretty much it's one of those things. Is like I'm not gonna be always the one reaching out to you because now I see myself as a nuisance. To be honest with you, because when you think back, or maybe this is just me thinking about it. If I'm always the one that has been reaching out to you year after year just to check in on you, just to see how you're doing, and then when I realized, I was like, let me just stop. Let me just stop to see if they'll check in on me. And I was like, damn, like, have I been like a nuisance all these years? Like, you really didn't want to talk to me. And I was always the one that have to reach out to you. I was like, I look stupid right now.
I don't
And
think
those
you are a
people,
nuisance. I don't think you should think you're a nuisance. You were just the bigger person. Because again, as you said, sometimes people just so used to it, they don't think about that they're not doing it.
well, I don't know, because like even to this day, those people's numbers who I've deleted out my phone, I don't have it in my. I haven't heard from those folks. So I was like,
Oh,
obviously,
oh, okay, that's different. Look, that's different. But but you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people do. They get used to you being the person that calls. You're the person that checks on them, and sometimes they wait for that because they're so used to it. Like it's kind of reset. I get that from people like, oh, I know Tamika's gonna check on me. If nobody else, Tamika's gonna make sure I'm okay.
Mhm,
And I
mhm,
heard that. I'm like, wow. Is it? And it's not that I feel that a nuisance. I think I'm that lifeline for them sometimes when they're in that rut, that everyday life
mhm,
and just going, going, going. But in the same sense is I don't do it as often. I will wait some time, just people that are true for me, people that I call my friends, I keep them close. That's just me. I like
mhm,
because only child, I don't know, but like I think those are dear. Now when you cross me wrong, I know how to walk away real quick.
mhm, mhm.
But in
Right.
the same sense, the ones I think are my friends, you know how they say you don't have to talk to somebody every day, but you never lose it. So
Right.
that's where I take sometimes, we all have our space and life be life, and you look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been a week, I haven't talked to you. I've been a month.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I said to you,
that's
oh my gosh,
different.
I haven't been down there.
Yeah. And that's different. That part I can understand because people's lives get busy. Um and I think I'll be honest, I think that was something that I had to accept too because, I think I never got used to how the world got busier. Because, like back in the day, you used to stay on the phone for hours with folks, just having conversations with them. You always checked in on them or whatnot. And then when life starts life, and in my mind, I feel like it should still be as what it is, but it's not. And I had to come to realize that it's not the same. People's lives, it changes, it gets busy. But at the same time, people make time for what they want to make time for at the same time. So I don't know. It was this battle, that I went through, and I had to set boundaries for myself and realize that, hey, stop taking stuff so personal. create this boundary with folks, and like the boundaries with folks that never, well, I guess it wasn't a boundary. My boundary was just stop talking to them because they weren't calling me like talking about, I don't know.
You did the all or nothing. That's what you did, all or nothing. You didn't do the boundary.
I
You did
did.
all or nothing.
I did because I never want to be a bugaboo to folks. I never want to be a nuisance. That's the last thing that I want to be. If I ever was, if anybody's watching this and I was a bugaboo to you, I apologize, but you don't hear from me now. So if
And
you
you know what?
follow me and I'm one of those ones, but but that goes into, like, once you create that boundary, whether it's with friendships, whether it's with relationships, whether it's with business. So say, like, for instance, you have somebody, like, let's go back to the giver and the taker, right? And you're always the one that's giving, 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 and that person's always taking, and it's never like reciprocated, right? And sometimes you don't know how to, especially with females, we some emotional beings, and sometimes it's hard to have those conversations. Some of us are emotional beings, like we get into our feelings. We get into our feelings, and some folks don't like conflict. Like me, I don't like conflict. I rather just, I'm gonna be quiet. That's just me, because, and it's not saying, because I have I can snap and I choose not to. And so I rather, to avoid conflict, I rather just be quiet and step back, than to have conversations. And that's not always good. That's just me. I'm just being honest. I don't like having conversations a lot. But if I see you moving funny, if I see, because I'm backing up some, or I'm creating boundaries that now you are acting a certain way towards me, like, this is the after effect of you creating boundaries for someone. If I start creating boundaries and I
Well, no,
start
the thing is
seeing,
about so that thing about creating boundaries, they don't know that you're creating boundaries. That's where the communication comes in. And I'm the same one. Like, I'm a quick shutdown person. Like, oh yeah, let me not say nothing. But they don't know that you're creating boundaries. So that's something to think about. Like, you have to let them know, okay, so I don't plan to do this, or I don't want to do this, or have that conversation one time or another, that you're not going to constantly be the caller or constantly be the conversation. Because again, that's when they do think you're acting funny, because now you're not doing what you normally do, and they don't know why. So you have to have that conversation if you care. If you care. If you don't care about the person, then you won't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying,
he
let
said,
it be truthful.
if you care about the person.
Because again, just like, I'm gonna put, as if me and you, right? If
Mhm.
you don't call or something, I'm like, okay, she's busy, she's working on something. I'm gonna think the best, not the worst. Somebody I care about. Now, people I don't care about, all right, whatever. You know, but then the same thing, I'll call and check on you. Okay, you're all right. I haven't heard from you, whatever, like that. But that's just me, again, as the giver, not a taker. So I don't
Mhm.
know how to not do that. You know what I'm saying? So for
Mhm.
those, but the ones that you, like I said, like, nah, I don't have it. No, I can't do it. You know, and see what they say or how they move afterwards.
Mhm.
Especially in business. So in business, for me, like I said, sometimes you're trying to get in front of places, you're trying to be in places, and you always looking for that opportunity. With friends, you're not. It's not the same kind of boundary conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not really looking for nothing from the other person either. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Right, right, right. And
So, like, if you're setting boundaries, do let them know.
well, when I say setting boundaries, this is what I mean. So it's nothing that, if I'm always the giver about something, and then I say, okay, I can't. I'm going to let you know whether I can do something or not, right? And I may say, I'm not going to say I'm cutting you off now. I'll just say, no, I can't do this. I can't do X, Y, and Z. And if you start acting funny towards me, that's where my boundary, like, really starts. And maybe it's not even a boundary, that's me backing up. That's my cue, because now you're showing me who you really are. Maybe that's what I mean by, I'm not gonna have this conversation no more. If I tell you, no, I can't do this for you anymore, or no, I can't do certain stuff, and then I see that you're moving a little different now because I set this boundary, now we have a problem. And I feel like it shouldn't be over explained, or we should have this conversation like, look, I see that you're acting funny now because I told you no for X, Y, and Z. Like, I don't have time for that conversation. I see what you're doing. So I guess maybe, I don't know, it's the Gemini in me that I'm gonna back the hell up. Because you just showed me your character at the end of the day. Like I just saw what you just did because I
And you
told
know
you
what?
no.
Now,
What
see,
you
that's
say?
different. See, that's different. So that's the difference between setting a boundary and having a conversation. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Or I'm not willing to do this anymore. However you want to stage the conversation. But like I said, sometimes, like I said, I'll be doing 90,000 things, and a lot of times people don't know. Like it's regular work, it's makeup. My makeup 5, 6 o'clock in the morning before such and such. End of the day, okay, I'm just want to sit and watch TV. I'm like, oh my gosh. And you know me, by the time I start moving, it's 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when I'm texting people. But but
Mm-hmm.
again, then sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't text them. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. And then I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Then something else happened. But
Mm-hmm.
people I feel in my circle know that if you're my friend, you're my friend. I'm not, no matter what, I'm traveling, doing whatever needs to be done to make sure you're okay. It's not just about me. But again, I'm a giver. So I know how that feeling is.
Mm-hmm.
But those takers, I don't think they really realize that they're taking so much from us. You know, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Like we need a taker on this conversation. Somebody that's because
We
giver
so somebody that's willing to say
is
I'm a
still a
taker.
different conversation. Like you know what I'm saying? Like people that you need those different dynamics. So they be like, oh, this is how I feel. I'm just and some people say like, oh, I don't do it because I know you got it. Okay. Well, if you know how to do it, don't mean I got to do it. But then
Mm-hmm.
people say, oh, you're particular. No, I'm not. I'm just used to having to do it myself. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So we need that kind of taker conversation. Like,
Yeah,
well, I don't do it because I know you can do it.
that's a
Yeah.
brave person that be willing to come up here and as a taker and be like, all right, let's have this conversation. I'm gonna tell you why I take. I take because you keep giving and you don't say no. So that's pretty much the answer they gonna give. You keep giving, so I'm gonna keep taking. You didn't tell me no, so I'm thinking it's okay. That maybe that's the mindset of the person. That's the only
That's
thing
what
I
we
can think
need.
of.
We don't understand. So maybe we need to do a live one day for that. So people to feel like, oh, are you the giver or are you the taker in a relationship? Like, what do you think is the difference? Maybe those kind of questions to other
Maybe
people
so.
because again, I know I'm a giver. I show up for everybody. Try to. And like I said, I learned to like, nah, I don't feel like going to take that drive. No, I'm not going to Jersey today. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you run so much and you don't realize you're burning yourself out till you like, why am I exhausted? Why am I not happy go lucky? Why am I? And it may not change for some people. We may
Hmm.
always be happy go lucky when we're out, and then just set overwhelming feeling like something's missing, something's going on. And some of us, when we're not giving, don't know what to do with ourselves either. Like, okay, what I do now if I ain't helping somebody? What I do now if I'm.
Hmm. But do you think like
What
once
you're
you
doing
set
it.
those
So
boundaries that it becomes awkward with the relationship, or should it become awkward, or does it become awkward once you set those boundaries with someone?
it should not become awkward, but it may be not awkward. It's just we have that feeling in our head that they have a problem with us saying no because we have never said it before.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Right.
just moving. They moving how they normally move. It's just now the giver stopped moving the way they do. So
Yeah.
now it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there must be a problem. No, it's not. Listen, they find it from somewhere else. They can't get it from us.
Yeah. I mean, and it is a problem. The problem is, we is like a hangover. Like it's a burnout moment. We're burnt out from always being that one, that strong one, or that giver. It really does burn you out because, like you said, sometimes when you need that person, they can't be there for you because they don't know how to be there because they're always used to you being the one doing it versus the other way around. Like they don't really know how to reciprocate that. So it does become a burnout. So that's why I said, you always need people, to me, around you that's like minded,
Hmm.
so that it can be reciprocated. I mean, and a lot of people, I feel a strong one is someone that has had to be in survivor mode. This is my personal opinion. Maybe I'm speaking from personal experience, but like, I've always had, since I've been able to work, I have always had to be in that survivor mode. So I'll do whatever I need to do to make sure I make it or I don't get behind. I know how to hustle. I know how to get things done to make sure bills are being paid. I do what I need to do, and I think that's what caused me to be the strong one. And I'm never going to see someone close to me um,
Struggle.
struggle. Exactly. And so I'm going to do what I need to do. However, comma,
Not the
you
comma.
yeah. Um, however, comma, certain ones I'm still going to do regardless. That's just me, and it really depends on who you are. Because if I know, like, once upon a time you were always there for me, and now I can reciprocate that, I'm down for you into the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, no questions asked. But then you have those ones where it's like, because you're a giver, like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this for you because I'm just this type of person. But then I see that maybe you don't appreciate it as much. Like, I don't do it because I want recognition, right? I do it because that's just me, right? But if I see that it's an expectation of yours now, that changes stuff. Like, if I feel like it's less appreciative and you're just expecting me to do this, I think that's where I'm like, okay, now I have to have that boundary with you. I can't continue to do this because I'm not going to keep stressing myself out to make sure things are getting done so that you can be happy while I'm sitting here like, what the hell?
And that I understand. That I really, that's why I said, if you my friend, you my friend. I'm there. No matter what. And that's why I say where it's hard sometimes to break away because we I don't feel we feel that they entitled or they feel that they it needs to be done. It's like it's that natural wave. And that's why I said the givers and takers come in
Yes.
because that natural wave that we connect. But I feel you on. I don't know. I think since pandemic, I won't say 40. I don't know when that age, but I think pandemic, when everything kind of shut down, we saw things a little differently. Because again, we wasn't running
Yes.
much.
Very so.
Yeah, we wasn't running as much. You wasn't being out there, and we didn't have to be. You only had to be home. So it
Yeah.
was like, now what do we do, and what's our dynamics?
Hmm.
And I think that's where the shift for me was like I could be dead, and you calling me about money. I could be, you know what I'm saying? I could be out of work, trying to figure out how to pay my bills, and you're asking me to come show up for you.
Hmm.
That's different. It wasn't okay. Are you all right? You didn't get sick. Your family good. You're moving okay. You're not paying. Like I think that was the shift for me. Like, yeah, I can't be doing it for everybody. My crew's my crew. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be up and down the highway everywhere. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make each other better in business and life and whatever we can do. But those
Right.
that are don't officially check on me, yeah, I'm not doing it. Really, and more than any, like, oh, I don't know nothing about that. So yeah, I don't know. We won't be there, that last minute stuff. And like I said, and now I look at it differently. Does it really help me? Me helping you doesn't help me, in some transactions. Not my friends, but those business ones, me helping you doesn't really help me.
Hmm.
What am I getting out of it?
Hmm.
Those the who's and the whys, because everyone gives you a dream. Everyone feels they can do so much for you, but what are you really doing for
All
me?
right. All right.
And
All
that's
right.
how I started to look at stuff like, yeah, I can't be at everybody's show. I can't be at everybody's event. It's it's it's
Yep.
it's, it's us together. If you need something from me and you ask me if I can do it, yes. If it's something too out of mind, like again, you asked me for 100 pieces of stuff in 3 days, nah, I can't do that because that's me saying 24 hours to make sure it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so
Yeah. Right. You definitely have to set those type of boundaries. You have to set those boundaries with people thinking they have access to you at all times. It had got to the point to where only certain people Like people close to me, anybody that knows me know I'm up because I work at night. I could be up 12, 1, 2, 3. I'm up all night, 11 to 7. I'm up. So certain people do text me like we text each other in the middle of the night. That's cool. But certain people, especially if it comes to business, that's no, that's a boundary. You need to message me like during the day sometime.
I
Emails
have.
on the other hand, like I'll email you all throughout the night. That's because that's an email. It ain't go. But actual like, don't be texting me or like, don't text me 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know you like that. Like,
And that's what people don't understand. Like, that's some things I don't get. Like, people that you don't know you or just know of you want to text you at 1 o'clock in the morning about something. Ma'am, sir. I remember when I was modeling and I had to change my number. I got a text about doing a photo shoot or coming to city. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I looked at my phone like, who? What? Yeah, no. You it felt like creep status at that moment. Like, come on now, I'm not coming nowhere at nobody photo shoot or nobody hotel at no 2 o'clock in the morning. But in general, it's just like, regardless if it's real or not, why do you think it's okay to do that?
yeah, yeah,
Why do you think
that
it's
part.
okay?
No,
But
those are the boundaries you have to set, and to us being strong ones, it comes with a lot. It comes with setting those boundaries. We're always on the go, and we feel that being always always on the go and being tired is what's going to bring us success, and that's not it. We still have to have our self-care. We still have to find time for ourselves. Laziness doesn't equate to like you not being successful, or like sometimes you need to have that lazy moment is pretty much what I'm trying to say, because you have to reset so that you can keep going. Because if you don't reset, you're gonna burn yourself out, and you're gonna flip out on somebody, or however you, however you express yourself when you get burned out. We don't want that, and so we have to rest without being guilty. Because I think I'm number one with, if I'm resting, I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, dang, I could be
we
doing
feel
X,
bad.
Y, and Z. Like, I'm wasting time right now just sitting here watching TV. And it's okay. It's okay. You have
And
to have
that's
those
where
moments.
it comes in for us, that we need to be okay, being okay saying I'm not doing something. And when you're a mover, it's hard. Like, I've had the last week, I was like, yeah, I need to be doing something. I'm like, nope, I'm going to sit until I got, like, after 3 days. I'm like, okay, I can't watch no more TV. But let me find something else on my phone or something. But to actually know it's okay to not to be busy. It's okay not to be on, all the time. And that's something for us, like the boundary for ourselves. And I do it like when I gotta work. Okay, give myself a half an hour to sit before I go start something for else. Like, I don't want to go cook. I don't want to do nothing. I'm just give myself 30 minutes so I
Mhm.
can just breathe before I go on to something else. Because again, you bounce from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and feel like you got to be doing everything. So it's a boundary. You got to set the boundaries for yourself. Like, okay, for this
Yes.
week, I'm going to work on my business this day and this day, or for I'm gonna talk to people about other stuff on this day and this day. It's like a calendar, or if you, because again, you can't. And you know me, obviously, the same thing. Like, girls, men, women, whatever. You need that time with your friends, just not to work. Like, I don't want to come to
Mhm.
work. I don't want to come to. I just want to come around and just sit and be cute like everybody else. I don't want to always
Right.
have to come and put my other hat on
Right.
and turn
Right.
around. I don't mind sometimes, but when it's like every time you go out, it's like, I just want to go out and have fun. I want to have fun too. I
Exactly.
don't think I'm just all business. Oh, she don't know how to have fun. No, I'm sillier than ever. But you never get to see that because they put me to work.
So to I guess to wrap things up, because we could keep going on and on and on about this, right? Because it could go in so many different directions. So really, to wrap it up, what would you say to first? What would you say to a taker? First of all, what would you say to a taker?
to, to sit back and think about what they're doing. Because again, they may not realize they're the taker. And I take that sometimes. People don't realize they're just so used to doing. Everybody, I would say, think about what you're doing and give yourself the opportunity to do something for somebody else. You know? So all the things that people do for you, give yourself once a month to do something for somebody else. Give yourself a challenge. And then that may move them out of that position. Just like we have to give ourselves a challenge not to do it, give yourself a challenge to do something.
I like that. I like that. Okay. All right. Y'all hear that, takers? Whoever's a taker, you heard that, right? Challenge yourself to
But even if you
reciprocate.
don't feel like you're a taker, yeah, even if you don't feel like you're a taker, like I said, sometimes people don't think they are. Think about to yourself either. I'll say like give yourself a quarter because it's hard. A month go by so quickly. So every 3 months, sit down and say, what have I done for somebody else? That's not my immediate group, or even in my immediate group. What can I do for somebody else? And I think that would help with the balance some because
Mm-hmm.
as givers and we as strong people, we want somebody to show up for us.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Right.
just be there.
Right. Right. Okay. Now, what would you say to that strong one that's always the giver, and who has a hard time like setting boundaries? Like, what would you say to that person?
You don't even have to set boundaries for other people. Set boundaries for yourself. Let yourself know it's okay not to show up. Like I said, it's never about anybody else. Again, all you can be is in charge of yourself. And that's what
Mm,
it is. I can't change them. I can't change who they are, but I can change who I am and what I'm doing. So for that giver,
that's
no,
true.
it's okay. No.
That's true. And to piggyback off of that, because I want people to understand, we always talk about, at the end of the day, when you do set those boundaries, like Tamika said, if you set those boundaries for yourself, right? Things are going to change, and it's okay. If situations get awkward afterwards, if it gets a little lonely afterwards, it's going to happen, and it's okay. At the end of the day, it's about your mental health and where you are, um, with your peace, because you don't. It's not worth being stressed out, always being the one that have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? So once you set those boundaries for yourself, things that the dynamics are going to change, but it's going to change overall for the good, and you just have to get over that period of awkwardness. As time moves on, it's gonna be piece of cake. And you're gonna thank yourself later that you set those boundaries for yourself, not for the other person, but just for yourself in general. So that's my take on it.
And I think it aligns. You end up finding your people. If you start finding those like-minded people, because we all want the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. We all want to be happy. We all want to grow. No, nobody wants to be lonely, but are you really lonely? Or are you at peace? We have to understand that you can be lonely and have 10,000 people around you. You know, you can have
Very
five
much so.
people around you and still be lonely. So it's. I think, like I said, we try to put things in a box. We try to make it understandable, and that's sometimes get us in trouble. Oh, they're not
Mm-hmm.
talking to me. Something's wrong. Oh, they moving differently. They acting funny. They just being who they are, and your eyes are more open to seeing what they doing. They've been doing the same thing forever.
Very much so.
So um, I think for me, like I said, this year, 2026, I want to move differently and move things. I won't say differently because I love what I do and how I do things. It's who I am. Tjameika with a J. I jump around. So, but I want to do things more intentional. You know,
Right.
right? Tjameika with a J. It's all over the place. Some things more intentional. Again, give myself goals. I didn't do it this year. Oh my gosh. I usually write down on New Year's Eve things I want in love, things I want in business. And at the end of the year, I always see what I did and cross off the things. And I didn't do it this year. Oh my God. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. I got to redo that. I got to pick me a date to do that. But, and those are how my goals end up being for me. Like, okay, I want to do this. Still on my thing, still on my truck. Like certain things, like those things put in place. Okay, I want to go to two black events, or even if they're out of state or
Mm-hmm.
out of the country, whatever. Like certain things, like you want to put on your goal list for you, because that makes you happy. If you do those things for you, then everything else doesn't matter. So that's my thing
Exactly.
for 2026 is what what I do. I want to go some more black festivals and just being different places and trying to figure out how am I going to go to this makeup Miami, like things that I would never
Mhm.
think of. Before it's like
Mhm.
this is what makes me happy now. This is the things I want
Mhm.
to do. You know, me. I'm big on. Well, where we going next? So where we going to see this new and trying different places? As an entrepreneur, I
Right.
love going to entrepreneur places because I know that feeling when people are not buying, people are not showing up, and you're just like, did I do this right? Did I? Yeah, you did. Those experiences and the new experiences you get with the people you share it with. So
Right, and I'm glad you
I
said that because
love it.
that's how we can actually end this conversation because pretty much what I'm hearing from you is, when it comes to setting those boundaries for yourself, do more for you and what's going to make you happy, and the people that's supposed to be around you are going to be around you, and they're going to experience that with you as well. And you being doing stuff for yourself, your self care or educating yourself more on whatever that you're doing is not being selfish. It's about thinking about yourself. It is thinking about yourself at the end of the day, but it's not being selfish. It's about your self care and taking care of you instead of taking care of others. And that's what I'm hearing from you, Tjameika, is pretty much what you're saying. And, when you do stuff that you love and you have other people that have similar tastes and want to do the stuff that's similar to you all do it together. Um, that's what it's all about. Being around
Yep.
those like-minded people, and you all just share it together and have the same goals, or even if it's not the same goals, you're just sharing it together at the end of the day. So, not saying you're not being selfish. Set the boundaries for yourself. Love on yourself, and stop giving so much. You give back to yourself more than you do to others.
Yep. It's gonna come in place. Like I said, we never gonna stop. You still giving. You just move the giving to something different. So you still feel satisfied because as a giver, if you stop giving totally, then you feel empty also. So you got to put it somewhere else. You got to stay busy with
It's a
something. So
balance. It's a
it is.
balance. Yeah,
So
it's
what
a
do you
balance
want to do this year for 2026 for you?
for me
For
for
you.
2026. Um, I'm definitely going to focus on myself more in the goals that I have for myself. Um, I say that every year, right? I say that every year, but and I actually started doing it a little bit more in 2025, where I did more stuff for myself, and it felt great. And so I am loosening up the chains more and more. So there's more boundaries that I'm setting for myself as time goes on,
We're
because
gonna, we're
I
gonna
can't
change
do it
that
all
word
at
for
once.
boundaries. We're gonna change that word from boundaries because that's not the word. You're not setting boundaries. You're
Cut off?
doing.
Can I say I'm cutting off? I don't know what you want me to say. I was trying to be nice about it.
You're just changing your role.
I am. Yeah, I'm loosening up. As as time goes on, like I couldn't go cold turkey. I put it to you like that because I am a giver, and that's one of my. I'm not gonna call it a flaw, but that's just how I am. Because like I said earlier, I know how to be in survival mode at all times, and I never like to see others struggle. But at the same time, I know people can do better for themselves. And if I don't see that you're doing better for yourself as I'm helping you, then I have to back up, if that
You
makes
ain't
sense.
trying. I can't want more for you than you want for yourself if you ain't
Yeah,
trying. Hmm.
yes, yes. So as 2026 goes on further, I am slowly but surely doing more self-care for myself and making sure that I'm set up the way that I need to be. And you're just gonna see what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna announce it. I do my stuff behind the scenes, and then you'll see it once I finish with it. That's how I do things. I don't, and that's
I
what we
understand that.
did.
I was told I move like a ninja. It's like we don't know nothing going on. I know, but
That's what I have to do sometimes because people, when you start sharing your ideas with certain people, they either try to do something similar or they have ill will against you because, that's what a jealous, I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation itself. But all I know is I do move in silence until the project is done and then I come out with it. So that's just how I am. And that's what
Well,
I'm going to continue to do in
I'm gonna say to
2026.
you, if you have your like-minded friends and family and people around you,
I
you don't
do.
have to feel guarded. And that's the thing, is finding those people. So if you feel that you
Yes,
can't have those
very much so.
conversations with people you love,
Oh no,
really
yeah,
not
very
to have.
much so. You can't have those conversations with everybody. I'm not saying, it's certain people that I know I can share things with. But how people they just share everything with everybody because they're just excited about it, and it's like you can't do that. You can't share um your ideas with everybody, and I've
Yeah,
I've learned that over time. So I am
yeah, I
guarded
had
to
it.
a certain extent, not to the people that's close to me. But I am guarded when it comes to I am guarded. That's I
It
am
happened to
guarded.
me. Like I would come out with stuff and products and stuff like that, and then people try and redo it. I'm like, you. I've come to the conclusion that it's enough money out here for all of us. And I'm gonna say like this: you're not me, and it's because I'm doing it doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. But go ahead. And then again, you do start to pull back. Like, okay, I can't tell you things, and that's my bad habit. I'm always willing to help others. But like, okay, you want to do this? How can I help? Like, it's an automatic. Like, if you tell me something, be ready to go because I'm gonna tell you how to get this and it. If I have the connections, how to do this,
Hmm.
how to make it easier so you don't have to be working so hard. I do that, and sometimes it's bad. Like, okay, you want this? Da, 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 da. Here you go. Here's 5 things you can look at, and 5 things you can get started. Don't start so big. Because again, I didn't have no one to look to or to help me with the things I've done for my business. It was me in
Hmm.
that space at that time. Now everybody else started lipsticks and stuff like that, but when I started, it was just me in that space, and no one. I didn't have no one to say, "Well, don't do this, don't do that. This is how you start it," or anything. It's just like jump 2 feet and make it work. So I get that.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother topic right there. What you about to get into? Because yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But we gonna end it here because we about to go left with that one. So at the end of the day, set boundaries for yourself.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay to rest. Um, you can still be the strong one. I'm not saying change who you are, but just make sure that you're taking care of yourself first, and it's okay to take care of yourself first because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of anybody else. So just make sure that when you set those boundaries for yourself, it's about what's going to benefit you. And then if you want to help others along the way, then do that. And it's okay. And for the takers, just be more mindful. And like Tjameika said, maybe do something for somebody else just to see how it feels, just to reciprocate the idea. But with that being said, this is episode 2. Happy Friday to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Please comment what you think about people being givers versus takers. And make sure that you like, follow, and share the podcast. And until next time, thank you, Tjameika, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all. Until next time.
Bye bye.